Joel, thanks for the time. How would you describe these past 2 weeks?
They've been different for sure. I think going back to last year, we got a little bit used to the COVID stuff, but with how contagious this kind of strand is and how asymptomatic a lot of guys are, it's been a little bit different. A lot of guys miss games when they feel like they could play, and you're moving around people on the offensive line, and quarterbacks are flying in the day of the game to play in a game. It was a little different. The unfortunate part is we were 2 points away in both of them, and we made enough mistakes in the game where you can look back and be like, man, we should have had those. But that's kind of this league. Every game comes down to the end, really. And, to be a good team, you got to find a way to win those close ones.
With all of that said, Joel, and all those obstacles, do you feel fortunate that it is really still in front of you and that there is a feasible scenario to get to the playoffs and do what you want to do?
Yeah, we need some help, and that's unfortunate. You always want to control your own destiny. So we definitely need some help. And I think, we're playing Monday night, so we'll have an idea of, what kind of happens this weekend. But the most important thing is for us to get a win against Pittsburgh. Like they're right there in it. The whole division is kind of right there. And, I think that's the most important thing is obviously we need help and we appreciate the help, but we got to handle our business. And that's really the main thing.
Thanks.
Thank you, Tom. Next up, Dan Lobby.
Hey, Joel. Yeah, we weren't going to let Tom have this room to himself. You obviously don't go against Ben directly, but, this is probably going to be his last game in Pittsburgh. Has that sort of sunk in at all that, this might be it for him and you might not face him again at Heinz Field?
I hadn't even really thought about it too much. Like, you never know in these things. Like, who knows? He could be back. Like Tom Brady's playing, till he's 45 or 50, it seems like. But, we've had a lot of, me personally, I've had a lot of matchups with Pittsburgh, and, they've been on the winning side a lot. I know throughout his career, he's been, he's had a really good career against the Cleveland Browns. But I'm sure the fans will be amped up. I'm sure their team will be amped up. But for us, it's already a playoff game, so we're already focused like that. We're already, ready for the atmosphere. We have to handle our business and win. But he's had a great career, and it's, I'm sure the fans will be very excited for him.
Yeah, and then for you, when you face a team like Pittsburgh and you've gone against a guy like Cam Hayward over and over again, and you know them so well, I guess what's your week of preparation like getting ready to play them?
Yeah, the good thing is you have film of yourself going against them, so you can watch some of that and understand where you've had some, bad plays in the past. And then, as a scheme thing, you try and look back what's worked, what hasn't worked, but they're looking at the same thing. So, want to make subtle adjustments and really see, kind of what's the best way to attack them. But that's why I think these division games a lot of times are toss-ups and a lot of times come down to the wire because, teams know each other so well and they know each other's personnel so well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. We'll go to Nate Ulrich.
Hey, Joel, earlier this season, after one of the games, you said, hey, 9-8 probably isn't going to be good enough to make the playoffs. And here we are. And like you said, you need some help, but maybe 9-8 will be. How wild is the AFC North this year, and how unexpected is that?
It's been really up and down. I think early in the year you saw, Cincinnati get off to a good start. Then the Ravens really, made a push midseason, but then like COVID and injuries to really every team in the AFC North has been a detriment. And, it's tough. It's always a tough division. It's always hard to win it. And, looking at now, it's going to come down to the wire again. And we'll probably have, 4 teams right around 500 or a little bit better. No really bottom teams and no team that's going to win 13 games this year. I do think it's a testament to like the toughness the division is and how tough each game is when you play within division. But also, a lot of our teams have, gave ones away, given games away, and, you're going to look back on the season, a team that doesn't make the playoffs, you're going to be like, man, we had 2 or 3 games that we really, threw away. And I think that just shows how important every game is in the NFL. But, hey, they once you get in the playoffs, they don't care what your record is. So hopefully we can, start to handle our business this week and really go from there.
And obviously, y'all need to play well. And, Baker obviously will need to play better than he did in Green Bay. Just what, for you to take care of your business, what's your sense of him coming off that game? Obviously, we haven't seen him throw 4 picks. So do you think he's still confident? Where do you think Baker is from your vantage point?
Yeah, we had a good practice today and we started our prep on Pitt, but this morning we watched the Green Bay film and we went over it. And it's never, when you have a tough game, it's never fun to watch the film, but guys learn from it and you learn from those mistakes. And honestly, like Baker was in, one of the tough situations to be in. You know what I mean? He had COVID. He was on it for the full length of time. He didn't get a chance to throw a ball and practice with the guys and stuff, but the ultimate competitor came out in him and he said, I'm going to get there. I'm going to play in this game. And, as a teammate of his, like, you can never question how tough he is or his want to, or his ability to, play when maybe he shouldn't be playing injury wise or other situations. And it's one of the things I respect him on, but his confidence this week, I don't think has changed. And I think, they're telling us there's a chance to win this division. So we're going to go out there and give it our best shot.
Thank you, Nate. Mary Kay Cabot, you're up.
Yeah, Joel, can you just talk a little bit about how well your defense has been playing? And now you guys are getting Jadavian and Malik and Ronnie and some of those guys back, maybe even a couple more. And, how does that contribute to your guys' belief that you can get this done?
Yeah, it's been really impressive. Honestly, the guys that have stepped up for him and they really haven't lost a beat, we were really shorthanded, in the defensive backfield a few weeks ago. The D-line has been shorthanded in linebacker. I mean, everybody has. But these guys have come out and played, and I think they're buying into the scheme, and they're playing off each other, and they understand, like with Miles and JD up front and those guys rushing the pass, like the ball's coming out quick, so the DBs are kind of adjusting to that. The linebackers are playing well. They're stopping the run. It's been impressive. They've really kept us in a lot of these games when we've kind of struggled on offense. And it's one of those things where if they can keep a team, scoring a limited amount of points, and that makes it easier for the offense to function. But like, hopefully we went through our COVID outbreak a little bit earlier, and now we can kind of bring everybody back and everybody gets healthy, gets a few days off, their body's rejuvenated, and, get ready for this home stretch.
And just a quick follow-up on that, to see Miles going out there and playing hurt the way that he is, what kind of an inspiration is that to you guys?
Oh, it's awesome. He's, in my opinion, the best pass rusher in the league. And so to have him out there, even if he's not at full strength, like the defense is going to game plan for that. They're going to send two guys his way. They're going to chip him. They're going to leave other guys one-on-one. And, for Miles, like, he understands, like, he's the heartbeat of our defense, and he's one of, the leaders of our team. And for him to go out there and play, even if he's not 100%, like, you see that with guys like Miles, guys like Baker, guys like JC, when he's out there, like, these guys are going to fight for their team and for the Cleveland Browns. And, it's something that you want to see in your leaders.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Kay. We'll go to Daryl Ryder.
Hey, Joel, I'm just curious, how challenging was it for you to kick out to left tackle, and how thrilled are you to get back to guard with Jed coming back?
Yeah, the first game I didn't really have a chance to think about it, so I just kind of went out there and did my thing. Try to do as well as I could. And this week I had a little bit more time to think about in practice. And there was a kind of a new wrinkle this week, like at guard, like you go with a silent count and like you can see the ball. So it's like not that demanding. But then when you get in the Lambeau Field on Christmas Day and you're like, oh man, I got to really pay attention to the silent count and get off on the ball. Like there was a few things where I was like, man, I wish I had practiced this a few more times. But I told him, like, I'm going to go out there and fight. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to, try and put myself in good position. And the real thing is, like, you're out there and I'm so used to doing things at guard, like be in the huddle, on the bench, things that you don't even think of that, you just think so much more at tackle. And like, there's plays that get called in the game where it's like, all right, I haven't really got a rep on this. What does the tackle do on this play? Where at guard, everything's kind of just like, I pretty much know every scenario that you can work through. So those were the things that were like, it was more like, it kind of reminded me of my rookie year when you're just like out there and just playing because you don't know the game as well at that position. So I felt like that a few times, but I was just going to fight and really try and battle for my guys out there and see what I could do. But I am happy Jed's back. You know what I mean? He's he got back at practice today and he was moving around pretty good. So it's going to be good to be back inside at guard. Hopefully we can get, our line and our offense, as healthy as possible.
And I know you said you're just kind of focused on your own business going into this game and what many believe to be Ben's last at Heinz Field. But I ask this because you're the longest tenure Brown. And unfortunately, with the exception of last year, you left that stadium and many a game against him, not feeling too good. He just always seemed to have the Browns number. So for you personally, how do you not go into this thing with a little extra thinking, man, it'd be great to send him out in his home finale with a loss, considering how much pain he's inflicted upon me in my career?
Right. It's always good to get a win. I mean, like you said, like, I haven't been part of many over there. But for us, it's like, this is the playoffs. Like, we have to win this game. So, from a macro standpoint, like, it's already as important as possible for us. And if we can win and, that happens afterwards for it, like, it's going to be a little cherry on top. But right now, like, it's a playoff game for us. So we have to go out there and really focus on us and executing our best, strategy. But that'll be something afterwards we can talk about and think about. But, for us, it's really a playoff game. We got to go 1-0 this week.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
Thank you, Daryl. We're going to take two more. Tony Grossi, Nate Ulrich. Tony.
Yeah, Joel, when the offense has a game like it did in Green Bay, and then also a game like it did in Baltimore, failing to take advantage of 4 interceptions, how does that strain relations with that side of the ball? And do you do anything during the week as the senior member of the team and the offense to kind of ease that whatever tension may have arisen?
Yeah, honestly, like, I haven't personally felt any tension, between the defense or the offense. Our defense has played well, especially those last few weeks, and we appreciate that. But there's no tension, like, that might be something in years past, but the guys are focused on winning and taking care of their business. And obviously, we want to capitalize when we get the ball and really, try and play complimentary football, but it's not something that's tearing our team down. Like, really, we haven't even had to talk about it. It's something that's obviously something you want to play better at. If you get 4 interceptions, you want to win the game, and you obviously don't want to turn the ball over on offense. But there's no separating the locker room. Like, I think guys are in a good headspace, and we're in a good position as a team.
All right. And you probably didn't know it at the time, but during the game, John Johnson tweeted after the second interception, "Run the damn ball." What does that mean to you if a member of the defense is so frustrated at what's going on the offensive side?
Yeah, I didn't even know about that until you just said that. But I mean, he's watching the game. He's kind of turned into a fan. He's an emotional guy, and I don't think it matters, honestly. Like,
Okay.
Like, he could feel that way, and obviously, like, there are certain things that people say and people do, and that's the great thing about social media. Everybody has a voice. Everybody has an opinion. It's anybody can say anything, and he's a teammate of ours, and we respect him, and he's he's a leader for our defense and stuff like that. But in the moment, he probably wanted us to run the ball, just like every fan does when you throw a pick or something like that. It's just it's part of it. But we have all the faith in Bake and Coach Stefanski. Like, it hasn't been there's been too many games that have been decided by one touchdown that we haven't won, but we still have a chance at this thing, and I still have all the faith in the world in our offense.
Okay, thank you, man.
Thank you, Tony. We'll close the session with Nate Ulrich.
Hey, Joel, I get what you're saying about, hey, we got to take care of our business and everything against Pittsburgh, but you did allude to it earlier. Like, Sunday's a big day for you guys too. Are you going to be watching Kansas City at Cincinnati, like, on pins and needles? What do you think that's going to be like?
I mean, it depends on our travel. I guess we'll be on a bus, so we probably can watch it. I'm rooting for the Chiefs. I'm rooting for the Rams this week. Like, there's no doubt about that. Like, I'll text Corbett this week, make sure they, know what they're doing. No, I'm excited for it. It's one of those things where you do become a fan. I won't be glued to the TV, but I'm definitely gonna be checking scores and making sure we're in a okay position.
And with how close you are with JC, I just wanted to ask you, like, how he's doing, and if just kind of obviously he tweeted out what he did that he felt it was important for other players to know. If you're feeling symptomatic, get tested. How are you viewing JC's situation, and how's he doing?
Yeah, it was he's doing fine physically. I think he had some minor symptoms, but I think he's now waiting to check back into the team. But the NFL is one of those tough guy leagues where it's like, before COVID, like, unless you couldn't walk or couldn't do anything, like you try and play in the game, sickness, you try and play in the game. And so I think JC was just reiterating, like, it's your right to get tested if you feel right. And it's your right as a human being to not spread COVID throughout the locker room as well. And he has a family at home. He has a child that's, not vaccinated yet because she's too young, and he's trying to protect them as well. And I know he was disappointed to miss the game. I know he had a heck of a snap streak going, and the guys played through a lot of injuries, a lot of injuries, honestly, worse than what he did with COVID, but we still don't know the lasting, effects of COVID and things of that nature. But honestly, as, a player and as an NFLPA president, I have, the utmost respect for him, because he's worried about himself and his family, but also, the teams around the league and trying to get this season finished.